Yo, what's up everyone? It's LC Bebop here with a brand new tier list, and today we are doing a 2D Mario tier list. Kind of similar to what we did last time when we did a 3D Mario tier list, but today we're doing a 2D Mario tier list. This video is going to be a little bit longer, perhaps, because there are more titles in this tier list than there were in the last tier list. However, I will be kind of skimming through some of these, because some of these I haven't played, some of these I've played a lot, some of these I have completed, and some of these that aren't even 2D games that I'm just going to be omitting. So, starting with Super Mario Bros. For the NES, one of the most popular Mario Bros. Games to ever be released, if not the most popular game in the Mario franchise to be released. Talk to an old person, in their 40s or 50s. What's your favorite video game? They would either say Pac-Man, Donkey Kong, maybe some people would say Pong, maybe some people would say just a really early game, maybe the old Zelda, maybe. But a lot of people will say Super Mario Bros. For the NES, or Super Mario Bros. From an arcade machine, or just whatever they played at the time. And this was a very popular game in the 80s. However, I think the game is very simple and bare bones compared to what is here later on in the tier list. But yeah, I just I don't really care for it all that much. Yeah, it's iconic. It's one of the most popular games of all time, but I just don't see all that much value into it. So I'm going to be putting it in B tier. I think it's good, but I don't think it's as good as everyone thinks it is. Moving to the next game, we have Super Mario Bros. 2. I like this one more than the original Super Mario Bros. And I know this sounds really weird because a lot of people don't like this game. I know Rambo doesn't like this game. I know a few other people don't like this game. I like this game. I think it kind of introduced the whole you can play with your friends on a Mario game. It really introduced the whole more than one protagonist in a Mario game. And I thought it was really cool, even if it wasn't really intentional for Mario at the time, because I do know that Super Mario Bros. 2 was going to be a whole different franchise entirely, and they changed the characters last minute. I do know about that, but I do like the gameplay here. I think it could be worked on. I definitely think it could be worked on. I definitely think that some of the aspects there are mediocre, but I think it's a good game for what it is. I'm going to put it in B tier. Above Super Mario Bros. Super Mario Bros. 3, the last game in that trilogy, and I think it's the strongest game in that trilogy. In fact, I'm going to be putting it in A tier because I think it is everything that a classic Mario game should be, but better. So yeah, let's go. Next up is Super Mario Land on the Game Boy. This game is pretty good. I like the soundtrack a lot. Gameplay wise, I think the game is pretty solid, and very similar to what we saw from the first Super Mario Bros. Do I think it's better than the Super Mario Bros. Game? I think it's I think it's okay. I'm not too crazy about the game. I like the soundtrack a little bit more than the original NES game. However, Super Mario Land does have its flaws, and I think they kind of outshine a lot of the good, at least for me. So I'm going to be putting it in C tier. High C tier. High C tier. Next up, we have Super Mario World. Definitely A tier. Definitely A tier. It's definitely up there. A tier, A tier. I'm going to put it in S tier because I don't think there's a whole lot of games that would be above this for me, at least in the 2D Mario spectrum of things. So I really love this game. I used to play this game at my aunt's house because she had a Super Nintendo, and I think she still does. She had a Super Nintendo and she had a PlayStation 2, but I played the Super Nintendo a lot. And I played Super Mario World, Donkey Kong Country, all the games that she had. And Super Mario World stood out to me because, first off, Yoshi. Second off, fun game. And third off, sex. So yeah, yeah, man. It's a very good game. S tier. S for sex. Next up, Super Mario World 2, Yoshi's Island. This is a very interesting game. I think it's S tier. I think it's S tier because I think with the Super Mario World really taking a change in art style and gameplay, I think that yes, this is a standalone Yoshi game. You know, when you really think about it, with the moniker Super Mario World 2 being just a moniker, really, with the main character really being Yoshi. I do think that even the art style of the game is phenomenal, and I think it's definitely one of the better looking games on the Super Nintendo. So yeah, X. So yeah, sex tier, sex tier. It's a brand new world. I wonder what I'm gonna find today. Oh shit! Oh wait, it was just my copies of New Super Mario Bros. U and Wii. Now we are going to be entering the new era of the 2D Mario platformers, starting with New Super Mario Bros. For the Nintendo DS, the kind of return to form because we hadn't seen a 2D Mario game in quite some time, and this was the perfect time to do it because yes, they could recreate this feeling of yes, we can technically have 3D Mario inside a 2D world. So they did it, and this was the result. I do think this is one of the better New Super Mario Bros. Games. I think it's A tier. I'm going to put it above Super Mario Bros. 3 because it's just so iconic. I think it's definitely worthy of A tier. My brother was more of a fan of this game than I was, but I still really enjoyed it, and I remember using so many action replay codes on this thing. It was amazing, and I really had a lot of fun with it. Next up is New Super Mario Bros. Wii, the sequel to the game. We're just going to ignore the whole New Super Mario Bros. 2. This was the sequel to the game, dude. It was an expansion of the first game, and they put it and they brought it to the Wii. We had more power-ups, more levels, and it wasn't exactly like a deluxe port like you would think. It's actually its own game. It has its own power-ups. It has its own levels. It's similar. It's similar to the DS game in that there's a lot of different there's a lot of like aspects being borrowed from the first game. But the Wii really set the standard for future New Super Mario Bros. Games to come. And honestly, I think it's better than the original. I think it's around S tier. Yeah, I think it's S tier. Moving on to New Super Mario Bros. 2, the sequel no one talks about. Basically, the whole theme about this game is that it's centered around coins, which is not a great start. It's like if Sonic got a new game called Sonic Rings. Obviously, not a great start, not a great name, not a great concept. It's probably not a great game. And yeah, that's kind of what I got from this. Definitely C tier. I don't like it all that much, and it's just not that great of a game. Coming up after that is New Super Mario Bros. U. I used to do an old playthrough of this game on my channel a long time ago, like 2017. It wasn't even the same channel. It was an old channel that I used to have. I guess the only person that would really remember that is probably Dodo, and even then he might not even remember. But I played a lot of this game around that time, and I had a lot of fun with it. I mean, it was a very fun game, and it looked amazing. It looked like Mario Bros. Wii, but HD, and a lot of the levels were really good. There were some new power-ups that were really cool. And overall, I just had a really fun experience with it. Is it as good as Wii or the first game? It's debatable. I don't know, man. I don't know. I think it's good, but I don't think it's that great. I'm gonna put it in B tier because I think it's worthy of being called a great game, but it's just not up to par yet, at least in my department. Even after the deluxe edition for Switch, I love the game. I have a lot of good memories with it, which is why I got the deluxe port to begin with, and I still don't really have that much of a connection to the game. So yeah. And the last game on this tier list is Super Mario Run. And I'm pretty sure we all know where I'm going to put that. C tier. Because while the game isn't terrible, you play one level and it's automatically pay to win. And it's automatically you have to pay for the rest of the game. And while it's not terrible, it's just not a great game to really get started on the franchise or even just get into in general. It's just not great. It doesn't sell you. It doesn't sell me very well. And I don't really care. I honestly just don't care about the game enough to even get the full version. So I just don't. Anyway, that pretty much sums up the tier list. I will put the tier list results on the screen. And don't forget to follow me on Twitter. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't. And I will see you all in the next video. See ya!